Welcome back, you guys. It is Wicked Raider 22 coming to you guys once again with a little discussion on two areas that, as a beginner, I probably think my thoughts on have changed the most. And honestly, that's going to be between masteries. And we're also going to take a look at tag team. As you can see, just logging in, we've made it to level 35, which will allow you to unlock the tag team arena. Now, let's talk about this one in a couple of different angles. There's always a big conversation about bringing your first champion to level 60. And you're going to hear a lot of people say it's one of the best things for you to do is to kind of pour into your starting champion and to bring them to that particular level. And once you figure out, once you have a couple of champions, even at level 40 and 50, is you start paying attention to the number of resources. And as you're going through looking at resources, a few things will start to catch your attention. Number one, the amount of silver that you'll use in order to improve your artifacts. Always looking to go level 16 in that top row, and then at least level 12 for a lot of artifacts in that 4-star range. Level 12 is going to give you the best bang for your buck. But the other thing that you start looking at will be masteries. And this is one area that it took me probably 2 to 3 weeks. So I have been playing maybe, you know, um, especially toward the beginning, you're logging in on a daily basis. And so 15, 20, 25 logins in, and you start realizing my champion doesn't always do what I see the champion do for other people. And you start to kind of wonder why. So the two areas in this particular video that I would like to take a quicker look or a deeper look into would be masteries, of course, and tag team arena. And so let's just start with masteries since we're already here. There are a couple of our champions that we've started with. So if you go to dungeons, and always the pop-ups, Plarian will never let you down there. When you go into dungeons and you make it over to Minotaur's Labyrinth, you're going to notice that this is the location where you are able to obtain mastery scrolls. Now, is this the only way to get scrolls? The answer is no. If you would like to use 800 gems and purchase your scrolls, which is quite the investment, I think that'll run you probably about $100. But you can purchase those gems, and that will allow you to get enough scrolls to completely master out one of your champions. I'll be honest with you, since we've always done free to play on this one, figuring out where the scrolls are coming from and their importance has probably been my number one thing. As you can see, our gem count isn't the highest. We still have that mine that's going, trying to get that 500 kind of recouped. We're about, I would say maybe 12, 15 gems in. So we've got a way to go. But you have your basic scroll, advanced, and divine scroll. We've made it to level 35. So as you guys can see, we have made some pretty good progress, kind of stuck at stage 11, which is going to be the norm. So if you take a look here, you're going to start out in those first 5 stages are going to be paying attention to giving you basic scrolls. Your basic scroll will be used to pick the pathway that you want to take your champion down. Now, the good thing about Mastery Scrolls that I definitely appreciate is that you have the ability to go back and change the way that scrolls are being used. I like that Plarium kind of recognize that as you move through the game, you're going from beginner to mid to end game. Your needs for teams, for champions will definitely change. Now, the affinity of which Minotaur version you're going to run into is also listed for you, and these kind of go in order. So nothing spectacular there. The higher you go, the more it's going to cost. So these battles do start at roughly about 8 units of energy. You will sometimes have the ability to go in for a super raid, for example, but that's going to double the amount of energy that you're using with each turn. The scrolls are going to be worth it. Hands down, the scrolls are going to be worth it. If you have come to a part or a portion of your game where you absolutely feel stuck, I would highly recommend that number one, you revisit the skills of that champion. Every champion that's on your initial team, go back, look at their affinities, kind of take a look at their ascended abilities, but make sure that they are equipped with the artifact that will get the best bang for its buck. Number two, I would encourage you to come over to Masteries and start accumulating scrolls if you have not done so. Scrolls and glyphs make a difference. Guys, glyphs make a huge difference. And we'll talk about in another video where you can get those in the best way to apply those as well. Now, notice at stage 6, you start to move up and start getting access to that advanced scroll. And then, of course, when you make it to stage 11, this will open up the gate for divine scrolls. Your gameplay is going to be different between stages 11 through 15. Guys, his energy is so different. And I'll kind of show you, we can run in and take a quick little look. So stage 1, these are just my top 5 champions. It's kind of what I start with as I'm building. Remember, position is kind of everything. You're paying attention to who should be in first place. So as I'm looking at this one, I was running them honestly just to kind of get a feel and kind of gather a little information. But I've got the miscreated monster in the wrong spot because his aura is going to be more tied to arena battles. So I'm actually going to switch the place of him and Elhain. They're my only 2 with an aura. Now, I will tell you, once you get Deliana to level 6, she will unlock an aura. So it can be really, really helpful, especially in battles. I want to say it's either maybe 20 or 30%. I can't recall, but I know on my other account, I've already unlocked her. Now, these battles are going to run like every other battle that you run in the dungeon. The key thing is, and this is one of those limitations, your champion must participate in the battle in order to gain scrolls. Kind of makes sense, right? So it's not as if, kind of like artifacts, anybody can collect them, but everyone can use them. It's not the way that scrolls work. The good thing is you can kind of focus on how well your team is working together. And you guys can see those early battles, not hard. It's going to tell you how many scrolls you've gained. I've been working on Sniper, for example. And so through this battle, she just went in and earned those 3 scrolls. Really quick. Time is about 16 seconds. It's my best time. And that's, of course, on stage 1. Now, let's go in and kind of see the difference. When you make it to stage 6, we now have the ability to gain 5 to 7 basic scrolls, but now you're also accessing those advanced scrolls. And notice how you've gone from 8 units of energy now to 10. So to give you an idea of the difference in ability that you're looking for, kind of pay attention to the beginning wave. These champions should not give you issues. So the first and second waves are pretty standard, not hard to deal with at all. Now, as we're looking, he does have that passive ability that's going to come back, that Almighty Immune that all of them have in this area. You're going to notice that he also has the Raging Bull level, which will allow him to do a super attack. And this passive does become an issue further down the line. Swift Doom is another one. So throwing out Hex, and Hex is one of those skills that I've definitely got to do a little bit more research in. So this battle is going to take us a little bit longer. We're not going to struggle. And of course, bigger bang for your buck. So Shield Guard just earned 7 scrolls. And then, of course, you're still getting tune points and you're still getting silver as well. So everyone else at that level is pretty maxed out. We're up to 36 seconds. So it takes twice as long as stage 1. Now, go back in. And we're now going to come to the point where we're going to look at this divine stage. And you guys have noticed the time creep definitely increases, and we'll see if we can be successful today. I haven't actually ran this one. And so I have had a chance since my last attempt through this particular area or stage that we have upgraded Sniper to 5-star. We've also maxed out shield guard for where we can get them now at that level 50. And I believe we've added one ascension star to Miscreated Monster since the last time I attempted this one. The other thing you're going to notice is if you have not done a stage or completed a stage before, of course, your multi-battles will not be available to you. So let's go in, use our 12 units of energy and kind of see how we do. This battle is going to be a little bit longer. So if you guys want to jump ahead about 2-3 minutes or so, that will be fine as well. You're going to notice in each round, you will definitely be using a lot of energy. Notice how Sniper goes down. And so that tells me up front, I've been working on her kit, really looking at the artifacts I'm applying to her. No way she should be going down in wave 1 or 2, to be honest. So I'm going to go back and take a look at her defense and also look at her ability for resistance. We haven't come to the point where we're running into those champions that are using things like poison, but they are big on fear is going to be one of them. And depending on that HP swap for a couple of your enemies, you have to be really careful as well. Now we're making it to this point, and notice we have lost both Sniper and the Miscreated Monster. So when I go back in, those are the first two champions that I'm going to take a look at how they're built and what I need to change about them before coming back to this battle. Now we are less than a minute in and we're down to one champion. So you guys can kind of see the difference pretty quickly. Of course, when you're defeated, you will get a bit of silver. Only took them a minute 12 to take us down. But the other thing is you also don't earn scrolls. So will you use energy? The answer is yes. If you are to a point where you kind of, accomplish your other quests, your challenges, or you're working on something in between, this is a really good area to start with. I will actually sometimes, if I'm stuck, like right now, I know I'm stuck at stage 11. I haven't been able to get my main team to this point. I will actually go back and I will rerun my champions stage 6 through stage 10, just over and over again until I'm able to not only get all of my champions through until the end, but in that process, I'll also be able to gain scrolls and max them out in those areas that I can actually obtain. After I've worked on my champions for a little bit, then I'll come back and hit stages 11 through 15. A lot of your big content in all of these areas is going to happen. Some of the best rewards will happen between stage 12 to 15. A lot of people talk about stage 12 as kind of that area where you're making it to the end. And if you guys notice, he only has 15 stages. So we're doing pretty good for an account that is so young. But I can definitely say from level 95 to 185 is going to be pretty interesting. These are also the areas that a lot of people will farm continuously to get their champions to where they actually need to be. The good thing is Minotaur's Labyrinth is always open. And every now and then, this super raid will rotate his way. And as it rotates through these 5 dungeons, guys, don't forget about Fire Knight's Castle here. It's worth it sometimes to go in and actually attempt the super raid. Be mindful of what you're able to, accomplish, what you're being rewarded, because that's going to be important as well. Now, if you have obtained the scrolls and now you're going through, let's apply a couple of the scrolls to get an idea of what we need to do. So we're going to go into our champions. And if I click on Masteries, it's automatically going to go in and it usually highlights who is available or who has a scroll available. And let me tell you why we're not getting the red dot here. So if I go in and kind of look, these are the 4 that I've selected so far. We've added 75 to attack points, increased damage inflicted to targets under shield buffs, increases damage inflicted by 5% when they have 50% of their own HP or less, and then defense by 75. If I decide I want to go in and make any other changes, if you notice, you have to have 30 scrolls, 30, in order to move to the second area. I can tell you now it's going to jump from level to level. So it's 5 scrolls needed. You can only pick 2 of these areas. The good thing is, even though it locks that third area, you can go in and actually reverse it, take all of the scrolls away that you've used so far, and then you can actually repurpose them. What's available to you is going to be the same for each champion, but how it impacts every champion will certainly be different. So if I make it to this third row, for example, I need 80 advanced scrolls. Think about the number. So the number and the level, guys, is going to be really, really important. A lot of people offense are going to come down this far left side. So those first two columns to your left. With defense, I've noticed they kind of angled themselves and sit between this third row for the majority of their trail down. If you think about moving it though, you can always go back and move it. And so that's going to be the one area when it comes to scrolls and masteries, it's going to tag on and give you a little bit more for your particular champion. Now we go into total stats. What we're working for is, I know personally on this champion, I would love to get the crit damage up. The crit rate is still really low. So I know that this champion can do more. The other thing is, we were talking about sniper, kind of looking at what sniper needs. Well, if you look, number one, sniper needs much better, artifacts, guys, across the board. So we're going to go in and do a little bit of farming to try to get her some better gear. And I think I can forge her a couple of pieces of gear that will do her much more justice. Crit damage is at 65%. We want to get that up to 100. Crit rate, I would love to get to 100 minimum. Speed, definitely want to increase this one because she does some amazing things as she comes forth and goes from that 5-star and when they're fully ascended. I've never gotten her to 6-star. I definitely want to see what she can do. But keep in mind, guys, Sniper is one of those rare gems. It's not as expensive to upgrade her. It's not as expensive to book her. And so it's one of the main reasons a lot of people will hold on to her as long as they can. So I'm going to go in and play with some of her artifacts over the next couple of play sessions and just kind of see what improvements we can get from there. This is all the gear that we started with. And so as you obtain better gear, you're going to go in and do different things. Now, I have some people, some champions I haven't even started on. So masteries is not something that you're going to do for every single champion right out the box. And here's why. When you start spreading yourself so thin, you start really losing out on how great a champion can be in the shortest amount of time. In this game, a lot of time will come down to how much time is available to make it happen. So you want to keep that in mind as well. Last area I want to show you guys in this video, of course, is Tag Team Arena. If you've made it to level 35, which I'm hoping everyone who has stuck with me up until this point has definitely done, then Tag Team Arena is a little bit different because in this arena, you are required to have 3 teams. And guys, if you look at the levels here, some of these teams have really spent quite a bit of time of building themselves. You got to be careful. I start out and look for teams that only have 1 champion per battle block. Now, you got to be careful with this one too. There are some champions, they'll level 50, level 60. Their first AoE is going to take you out. Hands down, period, you are done. Ninja, for example, is a really great example of that one. He is one of those champions, especially when you see him at level 60. I'm going to tell you up front, legendary champion, beware. Epic champion, beware. Don't underestimate Gaelic, especially when you're going up against them and you are a young team. What you're going to notice is this is all about speed. Arena will make you focus on the speed of your champions. And without it, as you're moving up, you will not get the opportunity to even take a chance, to even go, because you can't get into the fight. So since we just unlocked this area, I'm going to try to pick the lowest team, which right now is 29K, to kind of see how we're going to do. So it says you need to set your tag team defense up first. And we're going to do that first. Notice you have team 1, team 2, and then team 3. This is when it's nice to have 12 champions. Most of us will not have 12 champions. So we've got to kind of just go with what we have. Well, I'm going to first start out, and you can move these blocks around. First things first, we're probably just going to go in and we're going to just randomly click in Gonna remove her from the pits. Need my girl to go to work for a second. Guys, if I go down to 12 champions, I am pulling people who are literally barely 3-star. That's where we are. Like, and that's just being honest. If I'm just gonna fill all the space. Now, I want to go back and kind of pull some people as leaders. If you have an aura, I'm definitely going to push you toward the front just because, hey, it's going to work that way. The other thing is if you, for example, we go from 33K all the way down to having a team with only 6,500. If you win 2 out of the 3 battles overall, you have won that particular tag team arena battle. Sometimes, guys, you got to settle for just the 2 wins. It's nice when you can win all 3. It's nice when it's a quick kind of motion, but you got to learn to spread your resources out according to who you are battling. And the good thing is they do tell you the aura skills. He's not going to help us with the faction crypt. She's not going to help us with the dungeon, but it makes you feel a certain kind of way. Now that I've kind of just dropped them in randomly, we're going to go back and pick this battle. And let me show you how we can move our champions around to kind of get us a victory here. So let's see. Oh, we did not. Set our defenses. So they're there. Oh, now here's the thing. Sorry, when it comes to defense, defense is kind of like it is when you were in, for example, I'm going to go through when you're in classic arena. You don't want to have your best champions kind of leached into your defense. It's nice to have a strong defense. I don't want to lose too many battles on this end, but I'm not going to slide everyone in just yet. I'm going to focus more so on when I myself am going into battle and filling these teams here. Now, we do have team setup, which is available to us, but these guys aren't going to move too much either way it goes. So I think what we're going to do is kind of keep our first team, we'll keep them intact. We'll come down with our second team, put them there. This last team is just going to be kind of a give me team. So here's what we're looking at. This first Kale has a team power of 12,000 by himself. Now, I know at a level 50, this team should be able to take him. I'm not as concerned. To be honest, we are probably going to lose battle number 2, even though there's a nice little difference. I'm not sure if for Deliana, if she hits that second attack, probably going to take my little team out, but we'll kind of see how that one goes as well. Bottom team with Armiger, he's level 44. I don't have very much here, but we'll kind of see how it goes. Don't always assume because the total power is lower that those champions are not capable. The other thing is you're going to notice you'll be using those green tokens. So by this point, you should have kind of noticed arena tokens are gold, tag team are going to be green, and you're going to need a different sack in order to refill both. Kind of give you an idea how this is going to go. And this is only my first battle, so don't judge. I am loving that skin on Kale. I see a lot of people really did the work in order to get that one done. If he is not set up across the board with the Masteries, which I don't think he is, nice, he's not doing a rapid attack. So speed hasn't been built on him. Knowing your place will definitely take some people out. And I keep noticing snipers going down. Werben Bane is probably my only girl who's trying to hold out. She's not going to make it very long. So second battle is going to be a defeat. If we can pull out this last battle, which this may be a slow go, we're going to speed this one up a little bit. I wonder why my team was moving so slow. Let's see kind of what we can get done. There's no reviver, which is something I'm kind of missing currently, is the lack of having a good reviver on my team. Revivers in arena, guys, can make all the difference in the world, just like in dungeons and faction wars. It's something that's really, really needed. And we're probably going to pull this one out. We're going to get down to my last 2 champions, but Armiger is not fully built, so we're going to survive. And notice we have victory. You're going from that tier 1, and currently we could even move up. with the level of progress that we've made. Ranking period is going to occur once a week. So whatever progress you're making, you want to make sure you're at a really good spot before your new rank is determined. You will also earn gold bars. So keeping up with your victories and defeats will be a really good way to kind of gauge yourself. If you haven't had a chance to dive into Tag Team Arena, I definitely recommend it. Remember, this will also give you access to use those gold bars that we are accumulating for either energy, XP brews, shards, or another one. You can pick up fragments here, which is something else you'll hear a lot of people talk about. As the fragments are available, if you just want to go in to your Tag Team Arena and pick these up along the way, it will also allow you access to different champions. What fragments are available will change according to the week as well. The other thing you'll notice is some champions going to be worth a lot more than other ones. So this one, for example, is 5-star. If you use 360 bars, you're only getting one fragment. When compared to my 3-star champion, you would get 10 fragments. And a lot of these are going to be 10 fragments, and they'll give you a few options at a higher level. You're going to see tiers. This is where people start talking about, silver, gold, platinum, arena is another one. So it's a big step. I personally enjoy arena. I like to kind of see how my teams are working, what needs to be done, and moving it from there. You will have your battle log as well for attack and defense. Remember, the more you win, guys, on the defense side, the higher and the quicker you move up in battles. And as you can see, your team is not always ready for that one. So you want to play hard, but play smart as well. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and subscribe. We release content Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Would love to hear from you guys. How are you doing in Classic Arena? What do you think about Tag Team Arena? What do you think about Masteries? Are there any dungeons currently giving you any issues? I'll keep playing, and I hope you do the same. I'll see you soon.